Hello and welcome to A Masking Mum, the podcast with me, your host, Anna Bonasera. For those of you who haven't been here before, welcome. This podcast is basically the things I wish I knew when I first started on this journey. When I was discovering I had ADHD, I spent so much time researching, reading books, asking Google, asking AI, looking on TikTok, and this is kind of what I wanted to do, was bring all the information that I've learned and also my personal experience, because you can't get that from Google or AI, and how it has affected my life as a mum of 5 neurodivergent children with some additional needs as well. So if you're watching live, we're in week 2 of the summer holidays. How is everyone coping so far? We've had a bit of an up and down, mostly good, to be fair, can't complain. It could be a hell of a lot worse. I am lucky that I'm able to record this because I have 1 in childcare, 1 downstairs, 3 at their dad's, but I know that this isn't going to happen often. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to batch record some now, and we're going to go through executive functions, because this is something I had no idea what they were when I was first going through this journey of learning about ADHD, and how important understanding the executive functions are and how they become dysfunctional when you have ADHD. And it's something I wish I'd learned sooner. So we're going to spend a couple of sessions going through each one. We're going to do a little tick box kind of quiz type thing for each one. And then we're going to do some tips. So we're going to do like a couple at a time in the next couple of episodes so that we don't get overwhelmed, and we spread this out so that I have more content in the summer holidays. So this is all from my workbook called Discover Your ADHD. If you don't have it already, you can get it on Amazon directly, but you can also get it through me. I'll put a link in like the caption. And you can still get it from Amazon, but you also, if you go through and join the email list specifically for Discover Your ADHD, you'll get some extra free sheets and like prompts and reminders so that you don't forget about it once you receive it, and just, object permanence. So we're going to start with the assessment page. We're going to do 3 of the executive functions today, the quiz, and then the tips. And then in the other episodes, we will cover the other. I think we'll probably spread it across 3 different episodes. So get a pen and paper. You don't have to write down everything I'm going to say if you don't have the workbook, but what you can just do is say yes or no, and then you count up at the end, and then you can work out which kind of executive function you are most dysfunctional at. And then that's a good place for you to start, okay? Starting with impulse control. Here we go. Just answering yes or no to these. So, first statement. I open apps like Instagram or TikTok without even realizing I've done it. Yes or no? I say things out loud and then immediately wish I hadn't. All the time. I struggle to pause before reacting when I feel annoyed or triggered. Oh yes, the emotional regulation or dysregulation is strong. I buy things in the moment and regret it later. Yeah, shopping online makes that far too easy these days. I interrupt people because I'm scared I'll forget what I want to say. I do that all the time. And I hold it back because I don't want to interrupt because I'm now conscious of it, and then I will forget it. And I'm so annoyed at myself. I find it hard to wait my turn in conversations or group settings. Yeah. I start doing something fun instead of what I plan to do. I find it hard to stop myself once I've started something, for example, scrolling, eating, etc. I react quickly in the moment rather than thinking things through. And then last one, I struggle to ignore distractions even when something is important. Oh yeah. Right, that's the first assessment done. That's impulse control. We're now going to do Organization, we'll do 3 altogether for this, and then we'll do the kind of like tips on the page. Next lot of statements. Organization, we ready? Yes or no, okay? Tally it up. I have piles of things that don't really have a home. I tidy up, but then can't find anything afterwards. I feel overwhelmed when I try to organize my space or tasks. I don't know where to start when things feel messy or chaotic. I lose things regularly, like keys, phone, paperwork. Guilty. I start organizing systems, but don't stick to them. My digital life, emails, files, photos, feels just as messy as my physical space. Wow. I don't want to show you how many photos I've got and how many unread emails I've got in multiple different email addresses. Oh my gosh. I forget what I've already planned or booked. Double booking. Oh, when you're using more than one calendar, that is not good. I struggle to keep routines going, even if they help. And last one, I avoid organizing because it feels too big or too exhausting. Hell yeah. Okay, that's organization done. So then you've got 2 tallied up. And now we're going to go to the last one for this session. It's going to be emotional control. Are you ready? Yes or no answers, please. My emotions feel really intense compared to other people. Always called overreactive or dramatic or sensitive, all those labels I've had all my life. Some things can completely shift my mood. Yes or no? Yep. I find it hard to calm down once I'm upset or overwhelmed. I react emotionally first and process it later. I feel things deeply but struggle to explain why. I can go from fine to overwhelmed very quickly. This next one. I replay emotional situations in my head for hours or days. Guilty as charged. I struggle to let go of frustration or anger. Hold a grudge, anyone? I feel easily overstimulated and it impacts my mood. I sometimes feel embarrassed of how strongly I react. Absolutely. So, interested to know which one out of those 3 is your highest. So please do let me know. Now I'm going to go over the 3 that we just did, but in the Discover Your ADHD workbook, there are the pages of tips. So I'm not going to read them all out, but I'm just going to read a couple from each one. So back to impulse control now, okay? So build a pause habit. So you don't need to sit and meditate, just practice tiny pauses. I'm honestly so bad with meditating, so this is what I do instead. So before replying to a message, before snapping at your kids, before clicking buy now, even 3 seconds to pause makes a difference. And these things aren't going to work for everyone, by the way. That's why I've got given multiple in the book, because it's all about trial and error and finding what works for you, because what one thing works for one ADHD person isn't going to work for the next necessarily. Right. Next one for impulse control. Know your danger zones. Or identification is key. So when do you usually do things usually go off track? Is it late at night, overwhelmed after school pickup, working while distracted? And then instead of blaming yourself, plan around those moments. What could you do instead? Almost like replace the habit. Right. So moving on. I mean, this is a really simple one, but just stop aiming for Pinterest. Aim for functional. Your home doesn't need to be perfect. It needs to work on low energy days. And I've talked about this before. I often do the whole asking myself, what would future Anna thank me for? So even like if the kitchen is like a complete mess, I know that if there is one side that is free of clutter or free of dirty dishes or whatever it is, that I've got one side clear, I can just use it, and it just makes things a lot easier when I've got all the kids home, especially and it's summer holidays. Even having one side clear makes a difference, so that I do my bare minimum, the bare minimum. I use this one a lot, and we talked about this in last episode, I think it was, I did. Everything needs a drop zone or a home, but the idea of it being a drop zone rather than a perfect home. So where do you leave your keys, your like post, your box of random stuff that needs to go to other rooms, perhaps? It needs to be something that is functional. So like my husband always comes home and leaves his keys and his phone and his work phone, like wallet, like spread out. And that's just where he always leaves them. So I just tuck them. I don't move them. He knows where they are. They're all in the same place, but I do like have to tuck so I can have that one side clear, because that's where he puts it all, and just stuck it. So it's in that little home. I almost need to get him a little dish rather than it just being spread out, so that it can be contained. So that if you are regularly losing your keys, like our keys are always on a lanyard, and I'm normally wearing them when the kids are in the house because we have children who like to escape. But hooks by the door, like I've seen people have those really cool like keychains that are like Legos, and like then you have like a Lego piece where like you put it. So, you know, what works for you. Everything has like a functional home or a drop zone. This is definitely something that I do wrong, using one main system rather than 5. Like if I had the money, I would totally get one of those digital planners that you have on the wall, because I do live off my digital calendar now. And actually, I've made the mistake this summer of I am living out of 2, and it has caused me to double book some stuff because I haven't moved some stuff over. So I have like a co-parenting schedule between me and the boy's dad, but then I have copied that version to add things on for me for like when I'm doing events for like the Send community I run, for when I've got coaching calls, and all of that hasn't been put onto my phone calendar. So I'm constantly checking between, and there has been occasions where I've missed it. So definitely recommend using one system, whether it's a paper one or a digital one. Like I'd love to have a big calendar like up in the house, but then it's like remembering to put everything on the calendar that's on my phone. So that's why I would much prefer to have a digital one, so it just automatically does it. So I really need to save up and look into that. Okay, and the last one for today, we're going to be doing emotional control. So these are really little tips. These aren't like life-changing things. And I have in the book, there is a whole section on emotional regulation. So I definitely, if it's something you struggle with, I definitely recommend, because it's something that's really changed not just my life, but being able to be a better parent as well. So name it quickly. If you're overwhelmed, say it out loud. Say it out loud. Admit it. Like it's okay to have these feelings. And I think it's even better to admit these feelings in front of our children, because then it gives them permission to admit how they feel as well, right? And we want emotions to be a normal thing. And it's definitely something that I've always felt emotions, but I definitely remember my dad getting angry and like behind closed doors hearing it and being like, wow, never seen him angry like that, heard him angry like that. And I guess it's been one of those things that like, hush, hush, but I don't want my kids to feel like that and bottle it up, because I know I have bottled up feelings and it's comes out in a shit way, right? So just saying it out loud really quick, but do it. Next, lower the bar when you're dysregulated. I always talk about lower your expectations, like generally to help you like get motivated and get things actually done. But like when you are stressed through your eyeballs, especially if it's summer holidays and you're out of routine and you're constantly someone needs you, juggling all the things, just lower the bar when you're dysregulated. This is not the time for perfect parenting, big decisions, deep conversations. It's survival mode moment. So what can you do? What can you just lower expectations for in your life that can make it a bit more easier in that moment? And then a quick one to help you regulate those emotions, use body-based resets. So think cold water, like on your face, on your hands, like stepping outside, putting your feet flat on the ground, taking some like breaths in of fresh air, like physical shaking. Like I always love a kitchen disco, like put on some music that's like really ravey and just like shake it all out, get physical. It really helps to push those emotions through rather than just staying stagnant and still. So I'd love to know which ones you're going to focus on, what you're going to try. And if you want the rest of the tips and the rest of the book, like I said, you can get that on Amazon straight away, or I will leave a link below so you can get the extra printouts and little prompts from me in your inbox so that you don't forget about it. Thanks so much for listening. Stay tuned. Part 2 will be coming soon. I'm looking forward to covering the rest of this with you because executive functions seriously make such a difference when you learn how they work and why they're important and which ones you really struggle with can make such a big difference. If you enjoyed this episode, please do share it with your friends, share it on socials, tag them, send them a little link. It all really helps if we can spread the word and help as many women as possible know that they're not the only ones who lose their shit all the times. Sending you lots of love, and I will see you very soon.